Hello, this is Angie Burns, the owner and publisher of the Burns Team City Lifestyle, and welcome to City Lifestyle with Angie Burns. I personally run the Burns Team City Lifestyle, and we own the Allen, Plano, Rockwall, and Cross Timbers publications, but there are over 15 City Lifestyle publications in the DFW area and over 250 nationwide. We love to celebrate all of the amazing things that are going on in the DFW area, specifically where we have our luxury publications, and share them with our listeners so that you know the best-in-class businesses, the organizations making a difference in our community, and the individuals who are making an impact on our residents here in our area. Hello and welcome to City Lifestyle with Angie Burns. Our guest today is the owner of Stretch Zone Rockwall, Joslin Sansom. Thank you so much for joining us today, Joslin.
Oh, of course. Thanks for having me.
Well, I am very excited to have you on the show today because I am a longtime fan of Stretch Zone. And like you, when I first heard about it, I was like, what is this crazy thing? I'm going to pay somebody to stretch me. So explain to our listeners and viewers today a little bit about what Stretch Zone is, because a lot of people don't quite realize what they're getting into.
Okay, yes, no problem. And yes, I've heard that so many times. What do you mean I have to pay someone to stretch me? So what we do at the Stretch Zone is we literally stretch you, and that's it. So you lay on the table and we do all the work.
I like that.
It's as simple as that. Now, there's a lot of science behind it. There's a lot of Stretch Zone methodology behind it, a lot of protocols behind it. But in a nutshell, we are 100% focused on stretching our clients and increasing their range of motion.
Okay, so explain to me the benefits of going in and being stretched, because I know everybody's always like, oh, it's so important to stretch before you run. It's important to stretch before you work out. But why do we need to stretch every day?
Sure. So I would say the top reason is going to be for ensuring that you have really good range of motion for the goals that you have in terms of the activities that you want to participate in life. So for some people, it might be, I want to run a faster mile. For some other people might be, I want to be able to get on the floor and play with my grandkids
and tie my shoes.
And tie my shoes without sitting down or using a shoehorn. It's so important that we stretch as we age so that we can continue to do the activities that we love. We have people come in everywhere from student athletes, pro athletes. We have weekend warriors. We have people like you and me.
Yeah.
And we have people who come in that are in a wheelchair. People who have scoliosis. It really depends upon what your goal is in terms of the flexibility or mobility that you're looking for to ease your life and as you move through life on a daily basis.
And what does a session look like with you? So you're not going in and, like Richard Simmons jazzercise, you're not going in and stretching like that. You actually lay on a table and you get strapped in Frankenstein style. And it's a little intimidating at first, but explain to somebody what that process looks like when they come into the Stretch Zone.
Sure. So at the Stretch Zone, what we're going to do, and I'll focus on the first time visit. So if you come in for the first time, what we're going to do is we're going to do an intake on you, understand kind of your medical history, some limitations that you might have. We're going to find out a little bit about your goals. What are you trying to achieve with the Stretch Zone? And then what we're going to do is put you on the table and do a range of motion assessment on your hips and your hamstrings. Because typically when you're having an issue somewhere in your body in terms of your range of motion, it can oftentimes stem from the hips and the hamstrings being too tight or there being imbalances between the two. And we'll assess your range of motion based on a 90-degree scale. So whether we can turn your leg when you're laying on your back, to a 90 degrees with a bent, or whether you can get your leg up to 90 degrees. And we're going to record those imbalances. And then we're going to put you on the table. And yes, the table does have straps. It's actually a proprietary strapping system for Stretch Zone. And what that's going to do is a couple of things. It gives our practitioners the ability to leverage those straps to hold you in place on the table so that they're not laying their body on you, trying to hold you into position. That's real important. It also makes our clients feel safe and secure. So you don't feel like you're going to, roll or you're unstable on the table.
Yeah.
And it just gives our practitioners an extra set of hands so they can get you into those positions that we need to get you into without you trying to torque your body and hold like one leg down while we're putting the other one up.
Yeah.
So it's really all about stability, making sure you feel comfortable and allowing us to get the best stretch on you possible without you having to contort your body, because essentially that's kind of what a lot of people say, I can just stretch myself. Well, yes, you can stretch yourself at home, but you're probably tightening up this side to stretch this side.
Yeah, you can only go this far, but at Stretch Zone you can go this far.
That's right, because you're laying on the table, you're completely relaxed and you're not doing anything.
Yeah.
So we get you on that table with the straps and we will provide you with a 30-minute stretch. And then after your stretch, we're going to kind of give you an assessment of what we see from that stretch, combined with the range of motion assessment and some of the limitations. And then we will, we'll suggest a protocol for you. So sometimes that could be, you have an acute issue right now with your lower back because you went bowling for the first time in 20 years and you probably shouldn't have done that, or you played baseball with your kid and you slid into home base, and maybe you just have an acute need that we need to work on. So maybe that's like, hey, come in and see us twice a week for 6 weeks. Yeah. Some people will come in as a monthly maintenance routine. We have clients that do twice a week, 3 times a week. And they just come as a part of their everyday routine.
We have more fantastic information coming your way, so stay with us because City Lifestyle with Angi Burns will be right back. At City Lifestyle, we only partner with best-in-class businesses. And a lot of times people will ask me, well, what does that mean? We do a very rigorous vetting process for anyone who is allowed to advertise in our publications. We only partner with people who are 4- and 5-star businesses and who have great reviews with Better Business Bureau, have all of their licenses and certifications up to date. We want to make sure that our readers and listeners are only being recommended businesses who are going to go above and beyond, so you know you are getting a best-in-class business. What I like about Stretch Zone is you can come in and it's not like you're going to work out. So you can come in, since it only takes about 30 minutes. When you come in for that appointment, you can come in, get on the table, get stretched, and get out on your lunch break.
That's right.
Or you can do it like when you have time to fit into your schedule. It's not like you have to plan around it. Like that's why I'm going to claim that's why I don't go to the gym. One of the many reasons. But I don't have time. I don't have the time to go change, work out, sweat, shower, read, and especially women, like my hair is all sweaty and it's all messed up and I can't go to a meeting afterwards. But with Stretch Zone, I remember one time I went in and you're a poor stretch practitioner. I literally didn't even have time to change out of my work clothes. And I had on this long skirt and I was like, I put biker shorts underneath it. And I was like, just stretch me as I am. I don't have time. And I laid on the table and he was like, this is very weird. And I feel like I'm seeing things I shouldn't see, but I know you actually have shorts on.
Yeah.
But that's the thing is like, you can get in there, you can get stretched, you can get out.
That's right.
And so it's convenient. It's not something that's going to be a hindrance to your entire day.
That's correct.
And I love the feeling when you get out of there. I'm like, oh, I can move again. And you almost feel like the Tin Man after he's gone with his can of oil and he's like, dirk, 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 dirk.
Exactly.
In each of your little corners, you're like, oh, my arm moves now. My hips move now.
Yeah.
I don't feel that pain in my lower back.
Yeah.
When you get up from the table, and it's an immediate.
It's an immediate feeling, right? You know immediately when you got off the table, and that's what happened to me when I was a client for the first time.
Yeah.
And I
so
was
tell us a little bit about
blown
how
away.
you got into owning a Stretch Zone franchise.
Sure. So it was right around towards the middle of COVID, if you will, but we were all in lockdown. And, I was working in technology at the time, and we were amping up our hours of work, right? You're on Zoom. There's no walking time between meetings. So you're just going meeting after meeting after meeting and, working 12, 13-hour days, trying to keep the business afloat. And I just looked up one day and I was like, why do I feel like I'm 90 years old? I went to, this is a true story. I went to fill the water dish for my dog and I bent down, and as I was getting up, I'm like, oh my goodness, what is happening?
When we start making those sounds as we get up, right? We're like, oh no.
Exactly. Yeah. So a friend of mine at the time, because, I was complaining, I was like, what is wrong with me? He was like, well, why don't you go to the Stretch Zone? And I was like, the Stretch Zone? I've never heard of that. And I was a little arrogant about it because, I was a cyclist and I worked out a lot. But, reality is I wasn't doing anything for the last like 3 or 4 months with COVID. And so I said, well, what is that? He said, well, you go in, you lay on the table and they stretch you. And I literally
You're like, that sounds like the dumbest.
Yeah. I said, that's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. I'm not going to pay somebody to stretch me. I can stretch myself. Yeah. So 30 days later, no self stretches. Yeah. And I thought to myself, what do I have to lose? I'll go on and get that free stretch they talk about on Facebook and I'll see what happens. So I went in. I was not a good guest. I was a little like, just short, if you will, like with my goals. And I didn't like that conversation up front. And I got on the table and the guy like worked his magic and went through all the protocols. And I got off the table and I could not believe how good I felt. I mean, I felt lighter. They always have you do a lap around the studio once you get off the table. Yeah. I just couldn't stop smiling. I was like, you've got to be kidding me. Yeah. Just this little stretching has helped me so much. I had energy. My walking was fluid. It was unbelievable. Like I wanted to go work out. It gave me this crazy boost of energy. So I signed up on the spot to do 3 times a week. And back then they had memberships that were 3 months long. Now we're month to month. But I did that for a while. And as I started talking more to my practitioner, I was like, so tell me what's going on with this place. Is it a franchise? And so he's like, yeah, it's a franchise. So fast forward, I fly to Florida and I start learning about the franchise and signed up for, my first one was in Allen. And then about 6 months later, I worked on one for Rockwall. Yep. I've since sold the Allen studio, but so that's how I got into it. And I quit my technology job and went all in. And I thought, you know what? This is what I want to bring to the community is something that really helps people, that's holistic, that, doesn't require pills or shots or surgery. It's a interim step, before those things, may very well need to happen. But we see so much success with our clients where they've either tell us, wow, I thought I was going to have surgery, but the stretching helped. Yeah. And now I don't have to have surgery. Or it's prolonged the need to have surgery and the pain and all those things. So that's how I got into it. And I kind of burned down all the buildings, as they say, and started something completely different. And it was important to me, I guess we all get this way, maybe when we get a little bit older, that you want to be a part of your community versus just driving through it, right? To and from work. So that it was a way for me to feel like I was bringing something positive to the community, connecting with the community, and bringing something. And
you bring Stretch Zone out to so many different events and functions throughout the community. I see you everywhere. And you obviously come out to all of our events, but let's talk a little bit about that. You can bring the Stretch Zone to a business. Yep. If the business wants to have you all out to come stretch their employees, you could come out to a neighborhood like we do with our neighborhood block parties if somebody wants to organize that. So talk a little bit about kind of the ability that you have as the autonomy that you're given as a franchise owner to kind of customize what you offer. Stay tuned. We will be right back with City Lifestyle with Angi Burns after these short announcements. Thank you for tuning into City Lifestyle with Angi Burns. We are committed to being involved in our community and giving back as much as we can. If you would like us to come out and throw a neighborhood block party for your community, please contact us. We bring out bounce houses, DJs, ice cream trucks, and we would love to get your feedback on our publication and introduce you to our highly qualified and vetted advertising sponsors. We do not sell anything at the events. We just come out, throw a party, and get to know our neighbors so that we know how to best serve our community. So let us know if you would like us to come out to your neighborhood. We typically serve our neighborhood for block parties during the months of May, June, July, and October for trunk or treats. So reach out to us at Angi, ANGI.Burns@citylifestyle.com to book your City Lifestyle block party today.
That's my favorite part, is going out into the community. So we do all the things that you discussed. In fact, last week in Rockwall, we went out to a company by the name of Floratech, and they are a wholesale nursery.
Okay.
They have I don't know how many acres of greenhouses, and they produce all of the ground covering and flowers and whatnot, and they sell to other wholesalers and to some big retailers. So the owner of that business, Carrie Apge, was in the Stretch Zone as a client, and I just got to talking with him one Sunday, and he was like, hey, I'm going to have to freeze my membership for a couple of months because, we're really getting into our busy season. I have to do some traveling. So I was like, well, tell me about your business. And I was just really curious about the business.
Yeah.
And he said, well, I have a nursery. I have about 30 employees. And one thing led to the other. And I said, well, we can bring this service to your employees as an employee wellness benefit.
Right.
And he looked at me, he's like, no kidding. I was like, yeah.
I can't imagine planting all of those plants and flowers and all the things, how taxing that is on someone's body. So it'd be such an amazing perk. Yes. And benefit for those employees. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly what he said. He's like, man, my guys and gals are in the dirt all the time. They're bending over. It's a very hard labor job.
Yeah.
And just knowing how it's helped me, let me go back to my office manager essentially and see what she thinks. And then so she came in to experience the Stretch Zone, and she spoke to all of the employees, and they were super excited. So we went out there last Thursday and we stretched about 30 of their employees. Wow. And it was so amazing to see the look on their face, because let's face it, the Stretch Zone is a luxury service, yes. Right? So it's something that just brought so much joy to my heart, because these employees would normally not be able to afford coming in and to the Stretch Zone. And so he was able to bring it to them, and just seeing them lay on the table and just their face light up, smile, relax. This one gentleman, I saw him leaving his stretch, and he was like doing this,
like
and he
pumping
was
the fist,
stretching and like this, and his face was so lit up. So yes, we can bring the Stretch Zone to employees who may not otherwise be able to come in. But it's also great for first responders, giving back to them for everything that they do. The city workers, right? People that are working at a desk all day, or again, hard labor workers. So roofers, electricians, contractors, plumbers. Right. And it's such a simple thing to give to your employee. That shows you that you care, or shows them that you care. And their performance will be better, reduce pain and injury, and all those types of things.
I always find it funny whenever we have a block party, because we do the neighborhood block parties where we go out into the neighborhoods that we distribute the magazine to, and we do neighborhood block parties where we bring out the bounce house and the food truck and the DJ. Well, whenever Joslin's out there and she has the Stretch Zone table, the line for the Stretch Zone table is longer than the line for the ice cream truck. Like, everybody wants to be stretched. Yeah. And everybody, it's so funny, because afterwards, then they're playing Frisbee, and then they're going in the bounce house, or because they feel so much better, so and they feel so good that then they're like, oh, okay, I'm gonna go run around and have fun, and I'm gonna hula hoop, or do whatever it is. But I always find it amusing how long the waiting line at our block parties is, because everybody's like, what is this? That's interesting.
Yeah. So events are another big thing that we do. We just recently did the triathlon at the YMCA in Rockwall for the Kiwanis Tri-Rock 26th annual. So we went out there and stretched all the athletes when they got done with their triathlon.
So I bet a bunch of 5Ks and things like that are probably really great opportunities for you guys to get out there.
Okay. We go out to golf tournaments. We do a golfer stretch to warm them up before they get on the course. They absolutely love that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So if you are a member of a golf club and you want them to come out, they can come bring the table out. That's right. Maybe on the weekends or something like that. That's a great perk for that. Well, tell us a little bit more about where the Stretch Zone in Rockwall is, and do you need an appointment? Can you walk in? How do they get in touch with you if they want to know more?
Yeah. So we are right at Ridge Road and 30, that intersection there. If you know where Chaluso is, if you know where 30 Brunch House is, X-Golf, Culver's, we're all in that same little strip mall.
Yeah.
And so we're open 7 days a week, which is also awesome. And it's from 7 a.m. until 8 p.m. on most weekdays, and then Saturday from 10 to 6, Saturday 8 to 6, and Sunday 10 to 5.
Okay.
Yeah. And then, so yes, you do need an appointment. It's best to book an appointment in advance. We do have an app, so you can self-schedule, self-cancel, things like that. But we also can take walk-ins. So if you just give us a ring, and if you're like, I'm desperate for a stretch, we probably have an opening here or there if you're flexible in your schedule. But we welcome you to come in and just walk in and check it out. We'll give you a little tour of the studio, and we'll get you in and get you stretched.
Well, thank you so much for sharing with us today about Stretch Zone. I'm a huge fan. I love being a client, patient, what do you call us?
Yeah, we
client. Like, what am I? Of the Stretch Zone. I have been for almost, 3 years now that I've been going, and I absolutely love it. So go check it out. The one in Rockwall is, of course, right next to 30 Brunch House, which can't get better than that. So go out there and see Joslin and her team, and they'll take good care of you. If you are looking for the best place to market your business to our local community, please consider City Lifestyle Publications. I personally own the Allen and Plano territories, but we have over a dozen luxury publications in our area. We are a nationwide brand, so we have over 200 publications across the nation, and we really do value high editorial integrity, beautiful photography, and making sure that your story is told in a respectable and beautiful way. So if you would like to learn more about how to become an advertising partner of City Lifestyle Publications, feel free to reach out to us, because we are your ticket in the door to get you face to face with your next client.